Queen Letizia of Spain, a woman whose public image often embodies poise, dignity, and unwavering composure, recently revealed an altogether more human, tender side, and the entire nation of Spain, along with countless royal watchers across the globe, found themselves profoundly moved. In a scene as touching as it was deeply symbolic, Letizia greeted her eldest daughter, Princess Leonor, with unrestrained emotion after being separated for nearly 4 months, a stretch of time that tested the limits of both royal duty and maternal longing. It was a warm summer morning in Madrid, yet the air seemed to vibrate with an extraordinary anticipation. Cameras clustered along the carefully secured perimeter of the Zarzuela Palace grounds, reporters jostling for a better view, their microphones extended like hungry tendrils hoping to catch any snippet of conversation. The palace staff moved with practiced discretion, ushering guests and media alike into designated spaces, each aware that what was about to unfold was far more than a routine family moment. This was a spectacle charged with profound national sentiment. When the sleek royal car finally pulled into view, the tension cracked like glass. The vehicle rolled gracefully down the private drive, its polished body catching flashes of morning sun, casting reflections that danced across the manicured lawns. As it slowed to a halt, the back door opened, and out stepped Princess Leonor, her posture erect yet betraying an unmistakable eagerness in the way her eyes searched the gathering crowd. Leonor, who had been away in Wales attending the rigorous UWC Atlantic College, had grown subtly older in those few months, the faint edges of youthful roundness giving way to a more defined, striking maturity. Her hair, pulled back into a neat ponytail, shimmered under the Spanish sun. But it wasn't her evolving grace or the polished aura of a future queen that caught everyone's breath, it was the moment her eyes met her mother's. Queen Letizia, ever the embodiment of serene regality in public, seemed almost to forget the world was watching. Her expression softened instantly, her eyes glossed with tears that glistened like tiny jewels. In a heartbeat, she closed the distance between herself and her daughter, arms outstretched, her body language abandoning the protocols that often define royal interactions. As mother and daughter embraced, the crowd fell into a hush so deep it seemed the earth itself paused to honor the moment. Letizia clutched Leonor tightly, her hands pressing into her daughter's back as though she might never let go. The hug was not brief nor careful, it was long, enveloping, filled with tiny whispers and gentle rocking that spoke of all the countless nights spent wondering if her firstborn was warm enough, safe enough, happy enough. Photographers clicked furiously, yet even their relentless pursuit of the perfect frame could not pierce the private, near-sacred cocoon formed by the two royal women. This was a reunion layered with countless nuances. A mother relieved, a daughter returned from the threshold of adulthood, a nation witnessing the tender underbelly of monarchy so often hidden behind velvet curtains and gold-embossed announcements. King Felipe VI stood just a few paces away, his expression a complex tapestry of paternal pride, gentle amusement, and unmistakable emotion. He waited his turn with patience that seemed to stretch from a place of profound understanding. When Letizia finally stepped back, her hands still resting on Leonor's shoulders, Felipe moved forward and pulled his daughter into an embrace that, though more reserved, was no less meaningful. His hand cradled the back of Leonor's head for a brief second, a protective gesture that belied the immense responsibility both he and his heir would continue to carry. What made this reunion resonate so powerfully wasn't just the beauty of a family moment, it was what it revealed about the Spanish royal family at a time when monarchies across Europe faced growing scrutiny. Here was a future queen who had spent months living without royal privilege in the raw communal environment of a student dormitory. Here was a reigning queen whose heart clearly beat not first for crown or country, but for her child. Here was a king who allowed both mother and daughter the space to reunite without ceremony before stepping in himself. The entire tableau spoke volumes about priorities, about love over duty, about a modern royal household that, for all its ancient protocols, still functioned on profoundly human instincts. After the long embrace, Letizia and Leonor fell into animated conversation, hands occasionally fluttering in shared laughter. Observers with sharp eyes noticed the way Letizia would touch Leonor's arm or brush back a wisp of hair as if reassuring herself that her daughter was truly there, truly safe, truly returned. Leonor, in turn, seemed buoyed by her mother's affection, her smile broadening into the same easy radiance she often displayed as a child attending small local festivals, long before the weight of future queenship pressed upon her shoulders. Later, As the family moved indoors, away from the public eye, palace insiders shared that the reunion was followed by an intimate luncheon. No sprawling banquet tables, no gilded candelabras, just a close-knit meal served in the private dining room, attended by immediate family and a handful of Leonor's closest cousins who had gathered for the occasion. Sources noted how Letizia insisted on personally selecting the menu, choosing dishes Leonor had often missed while abroad. Tortilla española still warm from the pan, delicate croquetas, and a light almond cake dusted with powdered sugar. The afternoon reportedly drifted into hours of easy togetherness, punctuated by laughter that spilled out of the open windows and caught on the summer breeze. Leonor shared stories of her classes, of early morning study sessions by the rugged Welsh coastline, of friendships with peers who cared little for titles and more for who she was beneath the royal veneer. Letizia listened with an intensity only mothers know, eyes occasionally misting over, while Felipe leaned back in his chair, one arm draped casually along the back, smiling that quiet smile of a father whose daughter had returned, not diminished by distance, but somehow expanded by it. But as warm and idyllic as this scene was, it also carried undertones of the immense expectations that still hover around Leonor's future. Spain, after all, continues to balance a complex relationship with its monarchy. While many admire the royal family's evolving transparency and relatability, undercurrents of Republican sentiment still bubble beneath the surface. In this context, Leonor's formative years, spent abroad, forging her identity independent of the palace, are not just personal milestones, they're seen by many as investments in the very legitimacy and modern relevance of the Spanish crown. Royal commentators were quick to dissect every element of this homecoming. Fashion experts praised Letizia's understated yet elegant ensemble, a soft blue summer dress that complemented Leonor's more casual ivory linen jumpsuit. Body language analysts pored over the footage, highlighting the almost mirror-like movements of mother and daughter, a subtle indicator of deep emotional synchronization. Political observers weighed in too, noting how this very human moment strategically reinforces the monarchy's image at a time when authenticity is one of the most valuable currencies a royal house can possess. Yet for all the layered interpretations and breathless commentaries, perhaps the most important truth remained the simplest: a mother missed her daughter. A daughter longed for her mother. And when time and duty finally allowed, they embraced as though no crown in the world mattered more than the fragile, extraordinary bond that tied them together. In the days that followed, Spain seemed collectively to exhale. Newspapers ran the photographs on their front pages, social media overflowed with posts celebrating the tenderness of the moment. Citizens who often reserve royal commentary for matters of constitutional importance found themselves genuinely moved, sending messages of affection and support. "It's good to see they love each other so deeply," wrote one grandmother from Seville on Facebook, her comment quickly accumulating thousands of likes. That is what truly matters in the end. As for Leonor, palace aides shared that she would spend several weeks in Spain before returning to complete her studies. These days would not be filled with elaborate public engagements but rather with quiet family time, sprinkled with low-key outings and simple pleasures. Evening strolls in the palace gardens, trips to small cafes where she and her mother could sip horchata in peace, long conversations by the fountain where she once played as a little girl. It's in these gentle spaces that the future queen continues to build her inner fortress, not of stone and protocol, but of memories and maternal wisdom, the kind that will anchor her when the burdens of her role inevitably press down in the years ahead. And so Spain watches, heart-warmed and hopeful, as Queen Letizia and Princess Leonor navigate this bittersweet season together, the mother learning to let go little by little, the daughter learning to stand taller with every step she takes. In their delicate dance is a lesson for us all about love, about family, about the exquisite pain and joy of watching someone you treasure become who they're meant to be. So now, dear viewers, after witnessing such a tender chapter in the Spanish royal family's story, we turn the question to you. Isn't it in these quiet, heartfelt reunions, beyond all crowns and ceremonies, that we see the truest measure of royalty? If you found this story as moving as we did, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and leave your heartfelt thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing your perspectives on these deeply human moments that so often unfold behind palace gates.